The USS Gerald Ford is the newest aircraft carrier in the Navy and the largest in the world. A sailor from San Diego described the $13 billion ship to CBS 8 as like a floating city because of its size, nearly 4 football fields long, and the number of decks, more than 20. Let's talk more about this aircraft carrier's crazy life. It is based out of Norfolk Naval Station, and we are able to see the ship as part of their Sailor for a Day program. You are aware that aircraft carriers function as bases for the distribution of humanitarian aid and as platforms for launching attacks on coastal and inland targets. Did you know that the 2,700 men and women who call the ship home have access to a variety of lounges, fitness centers, and dining options? ENS Paula Nederland, a San Diego State University graduate, is one of the residents. She added, "I worked in PR for about a year and a half in San Diego, and I just wanted to do something more impactful," which led her to join the Navy. Even though they may appear to be in the middle of nothing, Nederland claims there is never a dull moment. "I think it's awesome because we do 5Ks around the flight deck sometimes, even while we're at sea. And here we are, in the ocean, racing a 5K, Nederland exclaimed. The narrow stairwells connecting the various decks, the long, narrow corridors peppered with impediments, and the seemingly random abundance of doors are also bizarre features. The wall maps are a welcome addition. Your sleeping quarters may be compact, but you won't want a map to navigate them. The Navy gave us a tour of a mess hall with 21 bunks. They are provided with a bed, a locker, and some open areas in which to store personal items. The red light lets sailors sleep during the night shifts while providing adequate illumination. Aircraft carrier accommodations have improved greatly, with the addition of private bathrooms for each cabin. The ship's 3 gyms, convenience store, and many dining options also receive positive feedback from passengers. The Hamster, the ship's take on chicken cordon bleu, is a popular choice at mealtime. The main mess hall is laid out like a football field and is a popular spot to dine. That's so everyone knows that the ship's namesake, Gerald R. Ford, went to the University of Michigan and played football. The ship's museum devoted to him is a great place to find that out, and much more." Aviation bosun's mate William Black proudly proclaimed, "We have just about everything except a bowling alley here, to be honest with you." And Williams has a fantastic explanation for what an aircraft bosun's mate is. "So if you've ever been to an airport, and then you see the guys with the wands and they're directing the planes and stuff like that, that's essentially part of my job," Black added. "It's a significant job with sporadic schedules and less than ideal working circumstances." Black, though, would not give it up for anything. "It's cool that my office is standing next to multi-million-dollar jets, directing them, and then feeling the compression of the thrusts and everything and watching them launch and take off," he said. Live fire exercises and general quarters drills are only 2 examples of the frequent training that takes place at sea, forcing the crew to drop whatever they're doing and prepare to respond to potential emergencies. During our visit, the Navy showed that they are always ready for the worst-case scenario. Construction. Northrop Grumman Shipbuilding in Newport News, Virginia, was awarded a $5.1 billion contract to design and build the carrier by the United States Navy on September 10, 2008. In 2005, Northrop began preliminary work on the carrier as part of a $2.7 billion contract. The shipyard in Virginia, where the carrier was built, is called Huntington Ingalls Newport News Shipbuilding. Ford's daughter, Susan Ford Bales, performed the ceremonial keel laying for the new warship on November 14, 2009, in Dry Dock 12. Bales addressed a crowd of shipyard employees and Department of Defense officials, saying, "Dad met the staggering challenges of restoring trust in the presidency and healing the nation's wounds after Watergate in the only way he knew how, with complete honesty and integrity. That's the history we're honoring this morning." The ship's sponsor, Captain John F. Meyer, and the ship's first commanding officer collaborated on the design of the ship's crest. The carrier was said to be structurally halfway complete in August 2011. In April 2012, it was reported that 75% of the building was done. The crucial lower bow was hauled into place on May 24, 2012, marking the significant milestone of completing the vessel up to the waterline. The vessel's construction required roughly 500 lifts of integral modular components. In a press release dated November 8, Huntington Ingalls stated that the building had reached 87% structural completion. On December 19, 2012, Structural completion had been achieved at a 90% rate of progress. We have completed 446 out of almost 500 structural lifts required to finish the ship. On January 26, 2013, the island was successfully deployed with a ceremony to celebrate the event. The ship's final 162 super lifts were installed on May 7, 2013, marking the ship's structural completion. In keeping with a long-standing Navy custom, on 11 July 2013, a time capsule was welded into a small compartment above the floor. Susan Ford Bales, the daughter of President Ford, handpicked the contents of the time capsule, which includes White House sandstone, Navy coins, and the aviator's wings of the ship's first commanding officer. The ship was supposed to set sail in 2015. However, its planned launch date of July 2013 was pushed back. The initial 11 October 2013 launch date, the 9 November 2013 naming ceremony date, and the February 2016 delivery date were all pushed back due to production difficulties. On October 3, 2013, Gerald R. Ford had 4 bronze propellers with a diameter of 21 feet and a weight of 30 tons installed. More than 10 months of labor went into installing the underwater shafting for the propellers. To test the ship's seawater-based systems, the dry dock was flooded for the first time on October 11, 2013. On November 9, 2013, she was to have both her naming ceremony and her launch. The ship was officially named by Susan Ford Bales, Ford's daughter, with a bottle of American sparkling wine on November 9, 2013. There was an increase in construction expenses of 22% from the 2008 budget to the 2013 estimate of $12.8 billion, not including the $4.7 billion for R&D. Due to financial constraints, Admiral Jonathan Greenert, Chief of Naval Operations, has cautioned that finishing Gerald R. Ford would be delayed by 2 years beyond 2016. According to the GAO, the Navy can meet the price cap by agreeing to purchase an unfinished ship for that amount. The Navy revealed on September 23rd that delivery would be pushed back to April or May 2016 due to testing problems. In addition, as of September 2015, construction had reached a 93% completion rate. According to a report acquired by CNN in July 2016 from Michael Gilmore, the Director of Operational Testing and Evaluation for the United States Department of Defense, issues with 4 major flight systems would further delay the ship's fitness for battle. These problems were thought to significantly postpone the ship's delivery date, which had already been projected to be November 2016. The ship's construction was said to be 98% complete, and 88% of the testing had been completed. Due to problems with the nuclear propulsion system and ammunition elevators, Gerald R. Ford's construction expenses soared to a staggering $13.027 billion by March 2018. The Navy's originally scheduled delivery date of July 2019 has been pushed back to October 2019. The shipyard Newport News Shipbuilding, built at Gerald R. Ford, has published a documentary film on the process. The Gerald R. Ford is a prototype for a new class of aircraft carriers that will vastly outperform their Nimitz-class predecessors. The island on the Gerald R. Ford is shorter in length and 20 feet taller than that on the Nimitz class, but is located 140 feet further aft and 3 feet closer to the edge of the ship. The island houses the ship's active electronically scanned array multifunction multi-band radar. All non-VTOL carrier aircraft will be launched by the Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System, EMALS, which will replace traditional steam catapults. This technological advancement does away with the need for steam generation and storage, which frees up a lot of room below deck. Gerald R. Ford's EMALS allow for 25% more aircraft launches per day, with the same crew size compared to the Nimitz class. Over its expected 50-year service life, the Navy expects to save $4 billion in operating costs, a report from the Associated Press states. Chief of Naval Operations Admiral Jonathan Greenert said of Gerald R. Ford in a televised ceremony at the Newport News, Virginia shipyard, where she is being built, "She is truly a technological marvel. The ship will carry unmanned planes, joint strike fighters, and deploy lasers." That's all for the video today. We will be right back with more such videos. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.